to my channel. So today's video, I'm going to be showing you basically what I have been generally feeding my baby since she has gotten old enough to eat actual table food versus just bottles and purees and stuff. She has kind of been the one child to introduce me to baby-led weaning. I didn't really do that with my other two. I think maybe especially with my first, I was like first-time mom syndrome where everything was danger, so we couldn't even like do that. With my second, she introduced me to more whole foods more quickly versus my first. She wasn't really tolerating the store-bought purees, so I had to make my own with my own seasonings and stuff. So it was new to me to season food for a baby with my second. Now with my third, she's way more advanced. Like, she's not tolerating the purees at all. I think she tolerated it for like a month and was like, listen mom, like I see you guys eat what you eat, so we gotta move on from this. Also, she didn't want to be fed. She wanted to feed herself. So I've had to basically sit with her doctor and like have her explain the baby-led weaning to me because I did not get it. I was like, is this dangerous? Is this not dangerous? And she basically told me like, if the baby is showing signs of like chewing on her own, then for the most part, if it's like too big and she can't chew it, she'll just gag it back up. And it's really scary at first, but eventually she'll get the hang of learning to chew it before trying to swallow it. And it's been a journey. So I thought that I would show you guys basically what I feed her throughout the week, just to help you guys get some ideas if you have a baby that is doing the baby-led weaning, or if you're interested in doing the baby-led weaning with your babies. This is just some basic ideas of what I feed her. I don't really go out of my way to make her meals outside of our meals, but I know that there's certain meals that we would eat, like tacos or something, where the crunchy chips she cannot have at all. So sometimes her meals are completely different from what we're eating. But on a general note, they're basically the same as what we're eating, and I just kind of moderate the spices, and I moderate the portion size, as well as like cutting things. I swore I would never be the mom to buy the OXO grape cutter that every experienced mom knows about, and I have gone on Amazon and bought it, and it really is a lifesaver, guys. I know, you know, a lot of more experienced moms or even less experienced moms are like, I'll just cut the grapes myself. But I'm telling you, just pressing that button and it's already cut has really been a lifesaver. So, sorry guys, I'm like struggling with my allergies. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into this video, but before we do, please make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. So let's go ahead and get into it. So for her first breakfast of the week, I like to try to keep it very simple because nobody loves Mondays. So I'm just going to be making a berry oatmeal. I just basically make the oatmeal in the microwave as the package directions show, but this wasn't the package, it was in the container already, but I already know how to make it. And then I blend it up with a bunch of different berries and a little bit of milk, and that's pretty much it. In this one, I did add just a little bit too much milk, so if you want your oatmeal thicker, make sure you add less milk. And this, I don't let her eat on her own. I do feed it to her, but she loves it nonetheless. For her lunch on this day, I also went with simple because we were doing a lot of running around and chores in the house. So this is her first time trying hummus, but I did toast up a slice of bread and spread some hummus on it, and I did cut up some grape tomatoes. It was also a first exposure for the grape tomatoes. She's never done actual whole grape tomatoes before, and she had some trouble tolerating tomatoes, but she loved the bread and hummus, and I did reintroduce the grape tomatoes later on in the week. On on this night for dinner, I didn't get around to cooking, so we did order out, and I did get some sushi as well as some tofu teriyaki and some fried rice and some hibachi vegetables. And this was her first time trying sushi, and she did actually like it. It was funny to me because she liked it a lot more than the tofu, but she absolutely devoured that miso soup. On day 2, I made her a nice little breakfast of some blueberry pancakes and some sausages, and I did give her some smashed raspberries with that. Very simple, very quick, but also very filling. She did eat quite a bit of it. I do quarter up the sausages, so I cut them in half lengthwise, and then I cut each half in half again, so each sausage should give you 4 long pieces. And I do smash the raspberries down before I give it to her. I cut up the pancakes and I put the very, very, very small drizzle of natural maple syrup. For her lunch, I kind of went with a Lunchables theme. I had these Buttery Rounds crackers that she absolutely loves, and I had some turkey breast that I needed to use up, and she does love this. And I gave her some shredded cheese, cut up some cucumbers, and half of a cutie, I think it was. Maybe a half, maybe it was a fourth. Not too entirely sure, but I did cut up the meat into small slices after I rolled it up together. And she did love this lunch. She loves crackers, she loves turkey meat, she loves cheese. This was a first exposure with the cucumbers, and she did chew on it very well. For dinner, me and the older kids had tacos, I believe it was, and so I made her some chicken nuggets and these butternut squash zigzags that I found from Trader Joe's. I just air fried everything for her, and I paired it with a few of the grape tomatoes just for another exposure, and she did tolerate it a lot better this day. She hated those butternut squash zigzags though in fry form, so I will not be giving her those again. Normally she loves fries though. And because she didn't really eat too many of her vegetables, I did substitute a Once Upon a Farm packet. For her next breakfast, I went with very simple again. I gave her one of these Veggies Made Great muffins. It's banana chocolate chip, and it has some zucchini in it, Yo Baby yogurt, as well as some blueberries. I did also mash the blueberries before I gave it to her. I hand fed her the yogurt, and I gave her the muffin whole at first, and she tried to throw it, so I'm pretty sure I did not record myself doing so, but I did end up cutting it into smaller pieces for her to try. She was not a fan of it, but I'm going to try to reintroduce it another time. Real life hit, guys, and she was not in the mood for lunch that day, so she just had a bottle. So I did make her a bigger dinner. I cut up some of this rotisserie chicken, and I boiled the rest of those butternut squash zigzags to cut them down and mash them down into more of like a mashed potato type of situation. I made her some peas and carrots, and I gave her one of these dinner rolls that we had left over from one of our dinners earlier on in the week. And this is what everything looked like all together. So you see those butternut squash zigzags were mashed down. They kind of look like mashed sweet potatoes, and she did tolerate it way better like this. So in the future, I would probably just get some frozen butternut squash and just mash it down as like the same that I did here. And she hand fed herself pretty much everything. I did spoon feed her the mash though, because I don't want that everywhere. This high chair is hard enough to clean because you can't take the seat cover off and wash it, so I fed her those. So for her next breakfast, I went with one of her all-time favorites. I gave her some toasted Ezekiel bread and some jam, and this is the jam that we like to use. It is a organic Blueberry Blast Superfruit spread. I found it at Whole Foods, but I've also seen it at Stop & Shop. It has no added sugar, and she's been hating scrambled eggs lately, so I tried to give her some fried egg. I didn't give her the yolk, but just the whites because my yolk was not all the way cooked. And I can tell you she equally hated the fried egg as much as she's been hating the scrambled eggs. The only thing she's been tolerating is boiled. For For lunch, we weren't going to be home, and we were kind of running a little bit late to go where we had to go, so I just packed up a quick few little snacks for her. One of these Bobo's chocolate chip oat bites, some little puffs, and a Once Upon a Farm packet, and she was very happy with this for lunch. Normally, if I'm running out, I coordinate maybe eating lunch out, but this day we were just kind of in a hurry. On this night for dinner, we had some pot roast as well as some mashed potatoes and gravy, some cornbread, and I made her some peas and carrots. This cornbread is from BJ's, and if you guys have not tried this, please try it. It is amazing. She absolutely loved this dinner. I can't say that there was any single part that she did not love. She loved the gravy on the mashed potatoes, which I thought she wasn't going to. But if I gave her the mashed potatoes without the gravy after I gave it to her with the gravy, she didn't want it. She loves eating peas and carrots on her own, so when I tried to give it to her, she wanted me to put it down so that she could pick it up. The next day for breakfast, I wanted to try out these apple cinnamon oatmeal bites for her, as well as some more sausage. I got these apple cinnamon oatmeal bites from Trader Joe's, and I can tell you honestly, I tried them the same day, and I personally was not a fan. However, she loved it and Zuri loved it. I just quartered those sausages again, and I cut those apple oatmeal bites into smaller bites for her to pick up and chew better versus just giving her the whole bowl. And yeah, she definitely loved this breakfast. Then for lunch, I tried out these Thai basil vegetable dumplings with her, and I had some leftover vegetable bird's nest from Trader Joe's from my dinner the night before, and I had a mango in the fridge that I needed to use up, so I made this for her. I tried the dumplings for the first time myself, and I loved them. I thought they were a little bit spicy, and so after I tried them, I kind of didn't know if she would eat them, and let me tell you guys, she devoured this, and I can tell you the spice was enough that I noticed it, so I was completely surprised. However, the combination of that dumpling and that mango was absolutely amazing. She also did love the bird's nest, but I can tell you everything that was on her tray was not eaten half as much as it was the dumpling. She went for the mango first because she recognized it, but once she tried that dumpling, that was it. Then on this night for dinner, we had spaghetti, so I just gave her some basic butter noodles, and I gave her some of those cherry tomatoes instead of pouring tomato sauce over the spaghetti. There's a slice of bread, and then I did cut up some mini sweet peppers for her. This was also a first introduction to that, and she did love those sweet peppers, surprisingly. The next day for breakfast, I made her some of these mini waffles, and I made somewhat of a parfait out of one of her yogurts, and I chopped up some strawberries into some very itty-bitty bite-sized pieces and mixed that together, and this is how everything looked. I did drizzle just a very little bit of that natural maple syrup over her waffles just for a little bit of sweetness. And here you see this is the size of the strawberries that are in there, so it's not big enough for her to choke on, and it's just big enough for her to chew down, and she absolutely loved this. For lunch, Zuri wanted some pizza bagels, so I figured Zaylee could eat them too. I just air fried them, and I cut up some cucumber and some grapes for them, and this was lunch for that day. On this day for dinner, I made some meatloaf and some mashed potatoes and some maple brown sugar glazed carrots. Normally I do honey glazed carrots, but because I knew Zaylee was eating it, I switched over to the maple, and she absolutely loved this dinner. Alright everybody, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys got some inspiration on what you can possibly feed your baby. If you did not like the ideas, guys, please don't come for me. This is me and my family. This is me and my baby. If you don't feel comfortable feeding certain things to your baby, then that's you. And this is what I feel comfortable feeding mine. So that being said, guys, if you haven't already, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If nobody told you today, you are absolutely beautiful and I love you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.